unilateral basis, we all put miniature wigs on our penises, and we walked out to the White House lawn and jerked each other off. So, like a puppet show, but much more enjoyable.
I do like a good puppet show.
I say we do it.
Adam McKay is on a new path with his films. His last two movies, 2015's The Big Short and 2018's Vice, had been two of the last decade's most creative, inventive films, both tackling large change points in 21st century America. McKay started out as a comedic director responsible for iconic movies such as Anchorman and Step Brothers. Recently he's been making movies with more serious subject matter. The first film in his new trajectory was The Big Short, a meta-film based on the journalist Michael Lewis's book of the same name, about four men who predicted the housing crisis of 2008 and bet against it. The film was the first expression of McKay's unique form of visual storytelling. His editing feels not unlike a YouTube video, with quick cuts and loose use of stock footage. This continues in Vice, which lends the film a documentary-esque early 2000s aesthetic. It will also share many themes, both giving a unique inside perspective on the issues, but revealing the fragility of many of the systems on which people rely. Vice tells the story of how Dick Cheney changed history through the quiet puppeteering of the presidency, and started a new chapter in the American government. The erosion of democratic norms and the defining of political sides with the manufacturing of alternating facts from the start of a more authoritarian executive branch. The movie, whilst being led by Christian Bale, is full of sinister characters, all performed by great actors, with the over-dramatised pattern of McKay films. The two side characters who both oppose but still mirror each other are Cheney's wife Lynn Cheney, played by Amy Adams, and his colleague Donald Rumsfeld, played by Steve Carell. They represent different sides of his life, but also the two who drive him most to where he needs to go. Lynn Cheney represents the ideological steel in the relationship, the motivation that drives him believing in a Macbeth-like conception of political maturity. Her scenes directed as a marital drama, despite her acting more like Nightcrawler's Louis Bloom than Marriage Story's Nicole Berber. However, opposing this is the sinister tumminess of Donald Rumsfeld. If the storyline with Lynn is directed as a marital drama, Rumsfeld is presented as a buddy comedy, him and Cheney trading quips. But instead of the lightheartedness of the relationship shown in films like 48 Hours or the smoothness of Ocean's 11, each line seems to have a selfish underline of privileged ignorance to the power of their office. Rumsfeld professing the slimy two-facedness shown when Cheney asks him what they as a team believe in, prompting Rumsfeld to burst into laughter, leaving Cheney's concerned face.
What do we believe? Oh, that's very good. What do we believe?
Bale himself underwent a massive transformation in both physical and mental sense, one of the most famous modern Methodist actors, famous for his physical transformations in films, once dropping from 83 kilograms to 55 kilograms for The Mechanist, before bulking up again to 86 kilograms for Batman. Yet there was skepticism about whether Bale would fit the role, despite his reputation and McKay's insistence for him. Bale and Cheney had wildly different body types and face types. However, Bale met the challenges with the same seriousness as he approaches other roles. By following Cheney's exact diet, he gained around 40 pounds, despite being told they would do it with prosthetics. But prosthetics were still employed to change Bale's look and improve his performance. The work done by makeup artists Greg Cannon and Chris Gallo, famous for their work on The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which won an Oscar for Best Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling. The movie expresses a theatricality about the White House, presenting it as a shadowy hypocrisy of pale, pudgy men blackmailing each other and one for money. The movie in this sense mirrors Oliver Stone's film Nixon, which presents a similar form of tenebrious government, but takes it a step further with visual cues. The movie is filmed with dark, foreboding impressions, using vampire tropes to present Nixon, making him lack his own signs of life, of haunting the corridors of the White House, and draining those around him to stay afloat. However, this metaphor at first seems to not translate to Vice, but as Vox's reported Tom van der Wolf explains, whilst Nixon uses vampiric tropes, Vice uses tropes found in zombie films. Less shown visually, more with plot. Cheney, the infected, filling Washington with people who support his agenda, even dying multiple times, both politically and literally, only to come back. It shows how he preys on the younger generations, sacrificing, feeding on them by sending them to war to die, their blood making him richer. Cheney is given simple motivation for his actions, and like De Niro in The Godfather Part 2, his motivation is family. The motivation of family is one commonly used particularly in action movies, where the hero is fighting to protect their family. But Vice uses it in a different sense, where instead of wanting to protect his family, he's working after faced with losing them. This is made clear to him in the beginning, where it is shown he's a drunken Yale dropout, and wasting away his future in a bottle.
At Yale, where he did way more drinking than class attending. Pretty soon, they got the boot.
Lynn confronts him in one of Amy Adams' best scenes, where she berates him, saying if he continues, she will leave him, as she seems insistent on being respected in high society, and views him on a stain on her reputation.
Okay, here's my plan. Right? Either you stand up straight, and you get your back straight, and you have the courage to become someone, or I'm gone.
Family always coming first with Cheney. Even when his daughter comes out as gay, the tension in the room on his opinion is thick. But despite the values his far-right party subscribes to, he puts those aside for his family. However, his job takes up more and more of his life, poisoning the bond between his family and estranging him, as the choices become political rather than personal. He becomes alone, his wife and their children only caring about his reputation rather than his person. Cheney eventually arriving at the office of Vice President. Alone in the doorway looking into the shadowy room, he thinks about his first office and how despite its small size and blank walls he called back home to celebrate when he had a happy wife and smiling baby. Hi, this is Luke. If you liked that video, please like and subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications about new videos.